Quad drops an all-new integrated amplifier, and while they're not officially calling this a Vena replacement, do not let the heritage skin fool you. It walks, talks, and plays to the Vena tune, just a somewhat more grown-up version. Officially, the Quad 3 draws aesthetic inspiration from the vintage Quad 22 preamp, but that is where the similarities end. Structurally, sonically, feature-wise, this is a modern integrated amplifier through and through. With a sleek footprint, serious power under the hood, and a widespread of digital and analog inputs, Quad 3 feels aimed at the same kind of listener that Vena spoke to. Someone who wants one box that can do it all, Bluetooth to turntable, TV to high-res streaming device, and sound great while it's doing it. You add in enough clean muscle to drive both bookshelves and floor standers, and you got a compact all-rounder that's easy to place, easy to use, and most importantly, it's easy to listen to. So, let's check it out. Mention products like the NAD C3050, Quad Zone 33 and 303 reboot, basically anything from Yamaha or 𝐒𝐸𝐞 lately, and the word heritage is likely to follow. Nostalgia has finally made its way into hi-fi, and there's a real taste for heritage in the market right now. And while heritage isn't exactly everybody's cup of tea, it isn't a gimmick either. It is a legitimate aesthetic offering to a significant slice of the consumer electronics market, and for better or worse, heritage is here to stay. That being said, Quad 3 is solely heritage in aesthetic. The design pulls from the 22 and the 33/303 playbook, big tactile knobs, low slung chassis, that unmistakable orange glow, but functionally, it is far from throwback. The LED strip isn't just there for show, it displays input selection, volume settings, even brightness control, which, yes, you can dim or turn off completely. The row of digital rotary encoders is one of the most intuitive physical faces that we've seen in a while, a direct inclusion from Quad 33. You get bass, balance, source, volume, and of course tilt, which I will get into in a little bit, all without diving into menus or fumbling through an app. Think of it as heritage reimagined, not reenacted. And it positions Quad 3 as one of the few amps that feels just as comfortable on a vintage credenza as it does under a wall-mounted OLED. Now, if we're making Vena series comparisons, then a major deviation from something like the Vena 2 Play is the fact that Quad 3 does not stream. There is no Play-Fi, no Chromecast, no built-in Spotify Connect, and honestly, this might be a good thing. If you have ever tried using DTS Play-Fi, you will know that yes, it works, but let's just say that it's not winning any user experience awards. Glitchy handoffs, fiddly navigation, and a setup experience that will probably turn casual users off before they've even played their first track. Quad 3 is taking a different approach here, letting your TV, an added streamer, or just the app on your phone via Bluetooth handle the software. With HDMI ARC on board, you're going to get CD quality audio straight from your smart TV with the convenience of using one remote for everything. There is no need to relearn an app or jump between devices. You got Tidal, Apple Music, Spotify, even Qobuz. They're all right there in your TV interface, piped through a proper hi-fi amp. And for most people, that very slight drop in fidelity is a fair trade for a system that just works. Of course, in addition to HDMI ARC, you're going to get USB-B up to 768 kHz PCM and DSD 512. There is optical and coax digital inputs, Bluetooth 5.1 with aptX HD, a moving magnet phono stage, and 2 line-level RCA inputs. Now, while there is MQA compatibility, and while this continues to be something that 𝐒𝐸𝐞𝐬 makes a song and dance about, MQA is pretty well dead in the water at this stage. There is not a single streaming service that offers it, not even Tidal. And there might be a few thousand people worldwide who have purchased and owned an MQA title. So who is this feature catering for, really? To be honest, I'm reluctant to bring this up at all, except for the fact that MQA's redundancy was actually pointed out in the comment section of a previous video that we released, and in truth, it does bear bringing to light. Can Quad 3 play MQA? Yes. Will you ever use it? Almost certainly not. Otherwise, all of these features makes Quad 3 a versatile hi-fi hub for just about any preferred entertainment source, even some that have gone the way of the dodo. The Vena series was polite, controlled, surprisingly capable for its size. And Quad 3 has much of the same personality, but adds a firmer handshake and a bit more posture. At its heart is a proper Class AB amplification stage fed by a custom engineered 235 VA toroidal transformer and backed by 30,000 microfarads of reservoir capacity. Translation? It's got the current delivery and the headroom to confidently drive real world speakers. Not just easy bookshelves, but hungry floor standers too. You are looking at 65 watt per channel into 8 ohms or 100 watt into 4 ohms with low distortion and plenty of grip. It's not trying to be flashy, it's just built to do the job right and do it clean. And there's a dedicated headphone amp too. It's a current feedback design meeting better transient control and lower noise floor. It is not the last word in headphone amplification, obviously, but it's not trying to be either. Like so much of what Quad 3 offers, in particular its moving magnet phono stage, it's a genuinely solid solution from a sleek, compact all-rounder that knows its mark and hits it. All this, and it still fits on a bookshelf, still quiet in standby mode, still sleek on the rack. It's like Vena finished its degree, hit the gym, and upgraded its wardrobe. It's still familiar, but now it's all glowed up. Now, if there is one place where the grown-up shift really shows itself, then it's probably under the hood. Quad 3 swapped the already capable DAC from Vena 2 for something far more serious, the ESS9038Q2M chip. It's a flagship chip from the ESS Sabre line. It's used in heavy hitters like the Audiolab 6000A Mark II and the 7000A, and it's known for its clarity, its dynamic range, and low noise floor. But the chip alone isn't the whole story here. Quad pairs it with a Class AB post-DAC filter stage that's custom tuned to preserve micro details and tonal realism. So think the subtle vocal textures, the tail end of reverb, and the nuance in string decay. Add to that 5 user selectable digital filters, and it's not just that Quad 3 sounds better, it sounds more intentional. Space is more nuanced, instruments carry more texture, the timing of it all just tightens up. And it's this extra layer of finesse that gives Quad 3 the poise and the composure of a more mature offering. Tone controls are somewhat of a catch-22, yeah? Used well, they can subtly enhance your system's performance, but if you push them too far, even just a few decibels, you kind of do run the risk of losing the character of the original mix. Less of a concern for audiophiles who are deeper down the rabbit hole, but that is not who Quad 3 is aimed at. So the inclusion of Quad's tilt control is perfect. Tilt gently shifts the tonal balance of the entire frequency spectrum around a 700 Hz pivot point. So one direction brings a little warmth, while the other a little brightness. And it's all done in 1 dB increments. And it always keeps the mid-range intact, where vocals, emotion, and realism tend to live. And if you're not an outright audiophile, it's the kind of feature that invites you to interact with your system. So if you want to tone down a bright recording or liven up a slightly dull room, tilt control is going to let you experiment without second guessing yourself or losing the integrity of the original mix. Alongside tilt, you get plus or minus 3D bass adjustment and balance control. This is enough to make meaningful improvements without tipping into full-blown EQ territory. Quad 3 really isn't trying to blow your mind away with a whole bunch of features that you're never going to use, outside of maybe MQA. What it's really trying to do is give you the ones that matter and do them right. So clean Class AB power, a properly implemented DAC, a versatile spread of inputs, thoughtful tone controls, and all of it wrapped in a design that nods to Quad's heritage, but it doesn't get stuck in the past. And while there's no inbuilt streaming, I actually think that this is a really good thing, at least in my mind, because the listener that this amplifier is aimed at already has devices that handle streaming and do it better for them. That's Bluetooth 5.1 with aptX HD for phones and tablets, HDMI ARC streaming through smart TVs. It's not bit perfect, high-res listening, but it's CD-like quality, and more importantly, the user experience is flawless. What Quad 3 does is amplify, convert, and fine-tune, and it does this with clarity, authority and confidence. So it goes 95% of the way acoustically with 100% ease of use. This is exactly what the Quad 3 customer is looking for. It's the kind of amp that doesn't require a manual or an audiophile degree, right? You just plug it in, you connect what you've got, and hit play. And for listeners who are looking to upgrade their entry-level integrated system, or existing separates folk who are just kind of keen to streamline their setup without giving away a ton of sound quality, Quad 3 nails that brief. It knows the mark and it hits it. And if you are one of those aforementioned listeners, then I highly suggest that you get down to your local dealer and have yourself a listen, because you will not be disappointed. I have had a ton of fun with this little amplifier over the last couple of weeks. It's been very surprising. Well, that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned just a little bit more about this incredible new integrated amplifier from Quad. If there is anything more that you want to know about this guy or any of the products that you've seen in any of our videos, simply head on over to avrevolution.com.au or leave us a comment below. We will endeavor to get back to you as quick as possible. I'm Matt. It's been a blast. I'll see you in the next one.